When I'm really in my fullness, there's all the room for you in the world. And just feel this for a second. When there's a lot of light, light doesn't push other light away. Can you feel that? It's so beautiful, right? One light makes room for another light. One voice makes room for another voice. When a person's in their ego self, right? My ego self takes up so much space, there's no space for anyone else. That's not your true voice. When you're in your ego voice is speaking, you're clashing with everyone, right? You're actually, right? When you're in your real voice, your voice actually harmonizes. So how gorgeous, right? I want to just introduce, right, this very, very beautiful chant. And I'm going to ask someone to put the words of Mizmor Shir in the chat box. And these are words that were written by King David. And we're in this evolutionary vision where we realize I am evolution, that the evolutionary impulse beats in me. And we realize that the next stage of evolution, and this is critical, we actually moved from the first Big Bang, the first inception of infinity, manifesting as finitude, as matter, the first Big Bang, the physiosphere. Then the physiosphere, matter triumphed as the biosphere, as life. And then we went through all the stages. After we went through all the stages of matter, we went through all the stages of life. Many, many stages, and critical stages. And then life triumphed, the biosphere triumphed as the noosphere, right? The world of self-reflective mind, the self-reflective human being emerged. Now, friends, can we stay close and open our hearts? And if you really get this, if we get this together, it blows your heart open. This is beyond imagination. And then what happens is the noosphere, self-reflective human being, who also goes through many stages, just like matter goes through many stages, stars, first generation, galaxies, planets, right? Just like life goes from the first prokaryotes to eukaryotes, right? Multicellular organisms and neural cords and neural nets and all the way up to animals and mammals and later mammals. And then, right? And then, right, life explodes as the human being. That's the third Big Bang. There's a first Big Bang, matter, a second Big Bang, life, a third Big Bang, human consciousness. And then there's stages at each one. So we're now at the farthest stages of the emergence of the self-reflective human. We've gone through all these stages. We've come so far, and yet there are cracks, there are fault lines. There's a basic fault line in the story. And the basic fault line is the experience. We've gotten to universal human rights, which is gorgeous. We've gotten to democracy, which is gorgeous. We've gotten to social mobility, which is gorgeous. This is the emergence of modernity, Da Vinci and Marcello Ficino's new story. But there are fault lines, cracks in the story, separate self, a mechanistic universe, right? The sense of alienation from the larger whole, a sense of disembodiment, a sense of a failed ability to come home into myself. So I got to create a win-lose metrics success story, a sense that my value is only if I can commodify myself, if I can produce myself, not the sense of the innate worthiness of my gorgeous, unique, stunning beingness, in which we join hands as unique selves. Right? So the story is breaking down, and along the fault lines of that story, or the fault lines of existential risk and the fault lines of catastrophic risk, and pandemic is one expression of it. And so what we need to do is have another triumph. And this is, if you get this, if you forget everything we said, you get, this is the heart of the revolution, right? That actually the notion that the third Big Bang, AKA Homo sapien, the self-reflective human, will now triumph at the next level is the basic movement of evolution. Just like matter triumphed in life and life triumphed in mind, self-reflective mind, Homo sapien, goes through all the levels and now seeks triumph as Homo amor. Right? That is Metatron in the traditions. Metatron is the human being who begins to incarnate divinity. And that incarnation of divinity has got to start in the body. It's got to be a divine body. It's got to be a divine heart. It's got to be a divine mind. I want to share with you, as we're weaving pre-modern, modern, and postmodern, I want to share with you a chant by King David, okay? And my friend Shimon, right, sings it. I translated it, and it's really beautiful. And I'm just going to give it to you for a second, okay? I'm going to give it to you for a second, and then we're going to hear it. I'm going to ask everyone, if you can, just actually learn it. We're actually going to sing it together. We're going to We're going to sing it to each other. I'm just going to give it to you once and kind of, off tune, off chord. Then we're going to hear it with Shimon. Then we're just going to try and write it to each other. That's how we're going to crescendo today. And then we're going to go into sense making with Barbara. Right? So gorgeous to be together. So it goes like this. It's from King David. King David is Solomon's father. He's the king in ancient Jerusalem. He's the writer of Psalms. And he is this revolutionary figure. He's filled with imperfection, right? He's filled with breakdown. And yet he's always breaking through. He never gives up. He never gets lost in the contraction. Right? David, the sweet singer of a new human and a new humanity. And he sings like this. He thinks, Mizmor Shir Liyom Shabbat. Right? Let me sing a song of the Sabbath. Today's Sunday. In some traditions, that's the Sabbath. But Sabbath means the time, Shabbat. Right? Gabrielle and Christine and I were studying about Shabbat this past Tuesday night. Shabbat is when we stop being the active creator and we realize it's all moving through us. So we sing a song of the Sabbath. Mizmor Shir Liyom Shabbat. Tov lehodot ladonai. It's good to sing with you, God. And the God you don't believe in doesn't exist. God who is the infinity of intimacy. Lagid baboker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot. To speak of your love in the morning and to trust you in the night. So before we go into our sense making and talk about loneliness, let's already redeem it from the beginning, to look at each other in each other's eyes and each other's hearts, to hold each other's bodies and to say, to speak of your love in the morning and to trust you in the night. And it goes like this. And then I'm going to do it once. And then Krista, Suzette, Christina, right, bring us into Shimon. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot Ladonai. Sing it with me if you can. Mizmor Shir, and the words are in the chat box. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot Ladonai. The words are 3,000 years old. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot Ladonai. Lehagid baboker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot. Lehagid baboker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot. My eyes to your eyes to my eyes, my heart to your heart. To speak of your love in the morning and to trust you through the night. To speak of your love in the morning and to trust you through the night together. To speak of your love in the morning. Take us inside to Shimon and to trust you through the night.
Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot Ladonai. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot Ladonai. Lehagid baboker chazdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot.
So just friends, last second, right as we finish church, okay? Who's just willing to write it? Just to write it one more time. To speak of your love in the morning. Just anyone who wants to write that, just so we can feel it, right? To speak of your love in the morning. Right? To actually feel it exploding around the world. If you wrote it once, write it again. And write it with all your heart and pour, right, your light, right? And pour your Shakti, they say in Hinduism, meaning you're alive, awake, right? Pour your eros, right? Right? To speak of your love in the morning, right? Right? Just to blow it open, right? What is that, right? To no longer be alone, to speak of your love in the morning and to trust you through the night. That's the second part. To trust you. So let's write that. To trust you through the night. Who can write that, right? It means the hard times. It means the contractions. It means when it's difficult. It means when you're lonely. It means when you're lost. It means when the depression, right? But I'm going to trust you through the night, right? So give me your hand, right? Let's give each other, whoever needs a hand. Let's put our hands out, right? Let's put our hands out, right? Right? So everybody can grasp a hand, right? To speak, right? To speak of your love in the morning and to trust you through the night. To speak of your love in the morning and to trust you through the night. Right? Will you take my hand? Can I take your hand? Do you understand that in a world in which everybody can actually sing and understand and feel this truth, it's a world in which pandemics are prepared for. It's a world in which no one's outside of the circle, right? It's a world in which there's a politics of embodied love, right? It's a world in which we feel each other. That's what intimacy means, right? Feel me, feeling you.